Okay, so first one is
Mm-hmm.
version control tool, then we have
Okay.
job scheduling tool.
Okay.
Then we have a tool called file related tool, okay?
Okay.
Then we have a debugging tool. These four are basically used in all mainframe projects. In some
Okay.
mainframe projects, you will not have debugging tool,
Okay.
but these three tools are mandatory. Without
Mm-hmm.
these three tools, it is not possible to handle a project.
Okay.
These three tools are mandatory. And in business tools, we will have a ticketing tool,
Okay.
and we'll have one. So Jira, you already know, right? Jira, Agile, and all.
Yeah, yeah, Jira. Yes.
Uh, so ticketing tool basically we have. So first of all, we'll start with version control tool.
Okay.
Now, version control 2 is, for example, you have a program ABC 00001.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this program, when we write, suppose I have kept it inside this library. Suppose this is my library in my project,
Okay.
matsc.cobol.sourcelib. But this is not a place where you can trust this member. So, obviously, when you write a program, you will write in your development environment in a library.
Okay.
Always you will write the program in development environment in some library. But
Mm-hmm.
in future, if you want to refer to this program for reference purpose, it is okay. But you cannot trust that 100% of this program is still fine. It
Okay.
is the one which is intact. What I
Okay.
mean to say is, so after we write a program in development environment, we do unit testing. So unit testing means the testing which we ourselves do. So for example, in COBOL or COBOL DB2 topics, we wrote some
Mm-hmm.
programs. After writing the programs, we compiled it. Then after
Okay.
compiling, we ran some jobs to test it, right? So for example, our job was to copy data from one PS file to another PS file through a COBOL DB2
Mm-hmm.
program, the COBOL program. So I wrote the program, I compiled it, then I created one input file,
Mm-hmm.
I ran the program, then I checked the output file whether I'm getting the data properly or not. Correct? So that
Okay.
is called
Okay.
unit testing.
Mm-hmm.
So unit testing is the testing which the developer himself does. Now after that, this same module will be tested in testing environment.
Testing. Okay.
Then there will be UAT testing. Then finally production environment. For in
Okay.
production it will run. Correct? But in future, if you have to refer to this program which is running in production, the latest version, you
Okay.
cannot say that the program that you have present in this dev library is the actual module which is running in this environment. That because this is a development environment and anyone can go inside this program and anyone can change it. Everyone has changing, I mean, update access in
Access.
development.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay.
you cannot say that this program is in its right form, like latest format.
Okay.
So this
Okay.
is not an ideal place to keep the latest versions of program. For reference, you can keep. So
Okay.
we always have one version control tool
Okay.
where you have, first of all, it has two works or two tasks. One is it holds the holds all the versions
Mm-hmm.
of all the programs, all the modules, not programs, actually,
Mm-hmm.
everything. For example, you have a copybook.
Mm-hmm.
So you have a JCL, you have a proc, you have a COBOL DB program, CSCS, VSAM, whatever it is, all the versions of all the modules will be present in version control tool and no one will be able to change it from there.
Okay.
So this program, for example, there's a requirement that you have to uh, change something in this program. You have to add some new codes, okay? For
Mm-hmm.
example, this program was initially written in 1990 by some developer. First version, it was the first version. It
Okay.
was written from scratch. Then testing was done. It was delivered to production environment and it was running. Suppose after 1990, again in 1992, there was one more enhancement. Some code
Mm-hmm.
changes were there based on some other requirement.
Okay.
So some other person or the same person did some changes in the same program. There is a second version. Now this version was running in the production environment.
Okay. Okay.
Like this, there are suppose 4 or 5 changes done in the same program, and currently we have in 2025 the latest change has been done. Suppose it is the seventh version of the
Okay.
same program.
Mm-hmm.
This is the latest one which is running in production. Now all these versions of the same program will be present inside this version control tool.
Okay.
All these versions. So that is why all the versions of all the modules. So if you have 100 programs in your project, all the versions of all the 100 programs, if you have 50 JCLs, all the versions of all the JCLs, all the versions of all the copybooks, whatever you have in your infant project, all the versions will be present inside version control tool. So basically we use the main tool that is used, you must have heard this Endevor. Endevor is the version control tool we use in mainframe, which is used in mainframe mostly in
Okay.
maximum projects. In some projects, we use ChangeMan also. These two
Mm-hmm.
are the most used tools in mainframe projects.
Okay.
This is the first task. Second task is with version control tool, what you can do is moves the modules from one environment to another environment.
Okay. Okay.
So we have dev environment, testing environment, UAT production. So our ultimate goal is to deliver the production modules to production environment because this is the go live region. This is the actual, it has the actual business data. And
Mm-hmm.
our ultimate goal is to run all our jobs and programs in production environment. But when we start writing a program or changing any code, we cannot
Mm-hmm.
directly start it in production environment. We have to pass through all these testing environments. First of all,
Mm-hmm.
we do it in dev. So whatever we did here in MATAC session, that is equivalent to dev environment actually. In real time, we'll have the similar thing. In dev environment,
Okay.
what we do, same thing we did here.
Okay.
So we write the program, do unit testing. Then we have to move the program to testing environment. Now, what
Mm-hmm.
is the meaning of moving? So all these are different servers, mainframe server. Development
Mm-hmm.
is a different server, testing is different, UAT is different, production is different. The URLs will be different, and you will
Correct. Mm-hmm.
you will have the admin has to give you separate accesses for each of the regions because the server is different. So to move a program from one server to another server
Mm-hmm.
is not possible without the help of a version control tool. So
Okay.
you
Okay.
need version control tool to move the modules. It can be any module, program, JCL, copybook, anything. You need
Mm-hmm.
version control tool. So it moves the modules from one environment to another environment.
Okay.
First, after depth unit testing, if I feel like the program is running fine as per me, I will move it to testing environment. Then
Okay.
I will inform the testers that it is working fine as per me. Please test it, right?
Okay.
Then the testers will do, check all the acceptance criteria. They will create
Mm-hmm.
test cases for each and every acceptance criteria. They will check each and every scenario. If everything is passed, they will tell us that it is successful in testing environment. You can move it to UAT. Then
Okay.
the developers only have to move the program from testing to UAT. The testers
Okay.
cannot do that
Mm-hmm.
because they don't have mainframe knowledge. They just have basic knowledge to run the JCLs. That's it.
Okay. Okay.
So developers only have to move the program from again testing to UAT. Then in UAT, the user acceptance testing is done, meaning
Mm-hmm.
so UAT is the UAT is the replica of production environment.
Correct. Correct. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Meaning in UAT you have the exact same data as production, and also you
Mm-hmm.
have the same memory size, same server configuration, and this is used to check how the program will behave in production if delivered by testing it in UAT,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
How the program will
Yes.
behave in production, that is tested. So ideally, the end users should test, but since they are busy people, on behalf of them, product owners or business analysts will do the testing in
Mm-hmm.
UAT. After this is also done, we get a go to deliver the program to production environment. There will be a fixed date that suppose on 1st of June we have production and delivery. So developers only have to move again the same modules to production with the help
Okay.
of version control.
Okay.
So what is the process of doing that? I will just write in text. I will show you one day the screenshots.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So first of all, if it's a new program, okay,
Mm-hmm.
suppose you have to write a new program. So since it's a new program, it is neither present in your library nor it is present in version control tool, correct? It's a new thing
Yes.
that you are writing. So
Yeah.
what you have to write is, do is you have to write a program in dev library.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning you have to give a name first of all. In your dev library, you have to give a name to the program. So basically, you will have a specific naming convention in your
Mm-hmm.
project.
Mm-hmm.
So these numbers get incremented. So whichever latest number you have, just increment it by one, or whichever
Okay.
name they are following based on your project.
Okay.
So
Okay.
create a name, and so when we write a program in real time, we don't write everything like identification, division, programmer. We don't code. What we do is we copy an existing program, any program.
Mm-hmm.
or a similar program, copy it and paste it in the new module. Then
Okay.
delete the lines which are necessary, keep the lines which are necessary. This
Okay.
is this is how it becomes easier for you to write. Like
We
it takes
just
less time.
change the names of that new program.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Okay.
So first of all, if it's a new program, write it in a dev library. Then
Okay.
what we have to do? We have to do unit testing. We have to test it. So compile and testing.
Okay.
Then third thing is if testing is fine, we have to move it to testing environment. For
Okay.
that, we have to open Endevor. So Endevor is a mainframe tool. Okay, Endevor or
Mm-hmm.
Changeman, whatever you are using, it's a mainframe tool. It will be present inside your mainframe session only. So there will be a different option for Endevor. Okay.
Okay.
So Endevor is an external tool. Now there are many vendors who
Mm-hmm.
have different version control tools. Now whichever your company or your project is using, they have to install that separately. Like
Mm-hmm.
mainframe basic session has the basic mainframe options, start 3.4, school, these kind
Correct.
of things. All the
Mm-hmm.
different, all the extra tools are provided by the third-party vendors, and those are installed separately in your mainframe session.
Correct.
So the options of opening Endeavor or Changeman will be different in every project.
Mm-hmm.
If
Mm-hmm.
there are 5 projects which are using Endeavor, the options will not may not be same because they have installed it based on their I mean, they have customized it based on their
Correct.
preference.
Correct. Yeah.
So you have
Actually,
to
I
do,
have used it in one of the projects, this Endevor Jahangir. We have the option
okay.
of E over there in the project.
Uh,
So when you just give that nine option, I guess nine or E something. So
uh,
when once you enter into the Endevor, we can have the packages names, and we need to review and approve the packages, and
yes,
it will be moved to the another, from UAT to production and other things and all.
yes, exactly, same thing. So in our
Mm-hmm.
project also we have Endeavor, but we
Mm-hmm.
don't use E, we have a separate option for that. So
Okay.
every project will have it. So you have to
Mm-hmm.
open Endeavor, and
Mm-hmm.
first of all, this program that you have written that is in your dev library.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to add it, add the module in Endeavor dev region. In Endeavor also you'll have all the regions, dev, testing, UAT, production. So
Mm-hmm.
from your mainframe server development library, you have to add the module to your Endeavor dev environment.
Okay. Okay.
So you have added it. Now what you have to do is after you add it, you need to move it, right? From
Correct.
dev to testing. But to
Yeah.
move it, you need to create a package.
Mm-hmm.
Now, packages, for example, you want to send a book from suppose Andhra to Bangalore, right? So if you
Mm-hmm.
just take the book to DTDC and ask them to send, they will not send. They will say that please bring an envelope or a cover and put the
Correct.
book inside
Mm-hmm.
it. Then, so similar
Mm.
thing. If you have suppose 10 programs to move from one environment to another environment, you have to create one package and
Mm-hmm.
move all the modules into the same package.
Okay. Okay.
Similarly, if you have to send 10 books from Andhra to Bangalore, you will create one big envelope. You will put all the books inside. The envelope will be shipped from Andhra to Bangalore. So,
Mm-hmm.
along with the envelope, the books will also come. Similar concept, create a
Mm-hmm.
package, and also you will have a specific naming convention in your project for package.
Mm-hmm.
Every project has different naming convention. You cannot just simply give any name. It will not be accepted only
Mm-hmm.
in Endeavor configuration. So create a package, move the modules. Now modules means it can be COBOL program, it can be copybook. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So one more thing I'll tell you. So let me first write it. So move the modules inside the package. Then there are three more steps. One is called review
Mm-hmm.
and approve.
Approve.
So
Yeah.
in
Mm-hmm.
some projects you will have the Endeavor approval thing, and in some projects you don't have.
Yes.
Meaning,
Yes.
if a developer wants to move something, he has before cast and ship, he has to get it approved by his manager or TL because
Mm-hmm.
his TL or his manager only has the privilege of approving any package. So, if I am moving something from one region to another region, that means I'm changing the modules in the other region, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Existing thing in the testing environment I'm changing, or if I'm delivering to production, I'm changing that thing in production. So for that, before sending, I need the approval of my manager or my TL, whoever has access to give.
Correct. Mm-hmm.
But in some projects, they don't have the option. For example, in our project only, we don't have the option for approval. If you
Mm-hmm.
have the approval, there is an option for that also. So you have to go to that. particular position, you have to inform your, or he'll get a notification. Then he will log
Mm-hmm.
into Endevor and he will give approval. Then only you can do cast and ship.
Mm-hmm.
So next is cast the package and then ship the package. Now everything looks very simple here. So
Mm-hmm.
suppose I want to send a book, I will put it inside a 10 books. I'll put inside an envelope. Then the DTDC person will check the package whether it is good to be sent, whether
Mm-hmm.
there is a liquid. They don't send liquids, right?
Mm-hmm.
Liquids
Correct.
and fluids. So they will, that is kind of cast. So while casting, the Endeavor tool will find out if there is an error or not. If there is an error, it will reject it. For
Correct.
example, there is something wrong with the naming convention. You are
Mm-hmm.
not moving some necessary elements. Suppose you are not moving a copybook, which
Mm-hmm.
should be moved along with the program. Then it will be
Mm-hmm.
rejected. Then ship
Correct.
ship means shipment. If you order something from Flipkart something, so they do the shipment, right? Same thing.
Mm-hmm.
So shipment means moving from one environment to another environment.
Okay. Okay.
So this is what we do. So behind, like in the back end, for everything, there will be a JCL which will be submitted. So
Mm-hmm.
Endeavor is the front end, this portal that is created.
Mm-hmm.
Behind every option, there will be a job in the back end which will get submitted, whichever option
Mm-hmm.
you choose. So
Okay.
inside Endeavor, you will have this add option.
Mm-hmm.
Inside Endeavor, you'll have this move option, then create package option, cast option, ship option, everything will be present.
Yeah.
Now, sometimes in place of add, we have to update also. Where
Update.
do
Yeah.
you have to update? Suppose in Endeavor, the program that you are trying to add in Endeavor dev environment is already present in Endeavor. Someone
Mm-hmm.
else already moved a version there in dev, and it is still there in dev. So
Okay.
you cannot
Okay.
add it. That time you have to update,
Mm-hmm.
right? Update means replace. You are
Sleep
replacing the
less. Okay.
existing one. But that is why you have to first check whether the member is already there in Endeavor Dev environment or not. If it is not there,
Okay.
you can choose add option. If it is there, you choose update option.
Okay. Okay.
One more thing you have to take care of here is we have COBOL programs,
Mm-hmm.
copybooks, then we have JCL, prop, control card,
Mm-hmm.
then we have DB2 objects,
Mm-hmm.
right? For these things, no, the category is different. Category as in you cannot move a COBOL program and a JCL together from one environment to another environment.
Mm-hmm.
You can only move COBOL program with copybooks. You
Okay.
can
Okay.
move JCL proc control card together in one package. You
Okay.
can move DB2 object in one package. The reason behind that is first of all, the naming convention of the package will be different for each of these modules. For
Mm-hmm.
COBOL copybook, you will have a different naming convention. For JCL proc control card, you'll have a different naming convention. For DB2 objects, you'll have a different naming convention. And
Correct.
also, why we don't move COBOL and JCL together is see, when you write a COBOL program, the same version of the COBOL program should be present in all the environments, dev also, testing also, UAT also, production also, right?
Okay. Okay.
But when you create a JCL for a program, you create the JCL keeping in mind it is for a particular environment. Because
Correct.
if you
Correct.
create a JCL for UAT, it will have separate parameters. When you create a JCL for production, it will have separate parameters. So you
Yes.
cannot deliver a JCL in all the regions, same JCL.
Correct. Yeah.
You will have to specifically deliver a JCL to either UAT or production. Two JCLs will be different, but COBOL programs and copybooks will be same throughout all regions. Similarly,
Okay.
copybook, control card, prog, these will be specific to regions.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Okay. And whenever you have to deliver a JCL proc or control card, you don't have to pass through all the regions. That
Mm-hmm.
means from your dev environment, you have to directly add it to UAT. For example, you want to deliver to UAT, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what you have to do is the same thing for a JCL. For JCL or Pro or control card, what you have to do is if it's a new one, write a
Okay.
JCL or proper control card, whatever it is, in your dev
Mm-hmm.
library. After
Yes.
that,
Yes.
you don't do testing. JCL, we don't do testing for JCL. You
Mm-hmm.
just so the thing is, you write a program, then you test it with your dev testing JCL. But when you
Mm-hmm.
deliver a specific JCL for UAT, that one you create. Keeping in mind it is for UAT, all the UAT parameters you will give that you cannot test in dev environment.
Okay.
So just write it, then open Endeavor, add or update the module in directly UAT environment, not dev or testing. You have to
Okay. Okay.
directly. So there'll be one staging environment actually. Staging
Mm-hmm.
as in just before UAT, there'll be an staging environment. There you have to add the JCL directly. Then create the package, move the JCL from staging. Move the JCL inside the package, then pass the package and ship the package from staging environment to UAT environment.
UAT. Okay.
Similarly, for prod, there will be a staging environment just before prod. So you have to
Okay.
directly add the JSON in the staging environment.
Okay.
So that time you have to open the production option in Endeavor.
Okay.
But for programs and copybooks, you have to open the dev environment of Endeavor. You have to pass through all the regions. This is
Okay.
the
Okay.
difference.
Got it. Yeah.
And also, and then for DB2, right? So in DB2, what kind of things we have? Now, DB2 object means either it's a DB2 table
Mm-hmm.
or it's a view. Okay.
Okay. So DB2 object and JCLs, we need to pass through all parameters, and these COBOL copybooks will be taking
No, no, no.
in dev
COBOL,
only
COBOL copybook, table view. These should be passed through all parameters,
all parameters. Okay.
all environments. But
Mhm.
JCL proc and control card should be specific to a particular environment.
Regions.
Uh,
Okay. Yeah.
because we have many environment related parameters in JCL and COBOL, but we
Correct. Correct.
in JCL and proc and control card, but in COBOL program uh, or DB2 table or view or copybook, we never hard code any environment name.
Mm-hmm.
We make it generic always.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this is for new program. Similarly,
Okay.
if you have to write change an existing program, okay,
Mm-hmm.
then what you have to do is, since it is an existing program, you cannot pick up the program from your dev library. As
Okay.
I said, you cannot trust the dev library. You don't
Correct.
know whether it's the latest version. So what you have to do is you have to download the latest version from Endeavor. So the downloading is called retrieve.
Retrieve. Okay.
Retrieve. Retrieve the latest version from Endeavor tool to your dev library. So for
We
retrieve
can take the
also,
existing program and we can take the copy of that, Jahangir, or else we need to create this latest version from Endeavor tool.
yeah, for existing program only, you have to take the latest version from Endevor tool, which is running
Okay.
in production. Because
Okay.
whichever is running in production, on top of that only we have to do the changes, right? Otherwise,
Okay.
if you
Got
do
it.
the change for on some previous version, then
Mm-hmm.
something will be missed out definitely.
Correct. Correct.
So we have to retrieve the latest version from Endeavor tool to dev environment, then change the program in your dev library, then compile unit testing. All the remaining options are exactly the same.
Yeah. Okay.
So this is the difference. Similar, it is
Okay.
the same case for JCL, proc, control card,
Control card. Okay.
everything. So this is what Endeavor is.
Okay.
Changeman is also quite similar. The
Mhm.
names of these options may be different, but the concept is exactly the same.
Okay. Okay.
Is cast, ship, move,
Mm-hmm.
add, update, retrieve. These names
Mm-hmm.
are different in all the version control tools, but the function is same.
Okay. Okay.
So I will show you screenshots of this one day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then we have something called job scheduling tool. Now everything is interrelated actually, right?
Okay.
So all the tools, Endeavor, job scheduling tool, then your Jira, ticketing tool, everything is interrelated. How?
Mm-hmm.
So in production and UAT. Oh, one more thing. Endeavor tool will be present in dev environment always.
Okay. Okay.
Always it will be in dev environment. It will not be there in your mainframe production environment or UAT environment. It will be there
Okay.
in dev. And inside Endeavor, you will have all the dev, testing, production, and all
Correct.
the
Got it.
sessions.
Yeah.
Similarly, we have job scheduling tool. Now, job scheduling tool will be in UAT and production environment only. It
Okay.
will not be there in dev. Why?
Okay.
What is job scheduling tool actually? So when we say that he's working in the maintenance of the project. Now, what is maintenance? So,
Mm-hmm.
broadly speaking, if I am working for, suppose, a client, if I'm working in
Mm-hmm.
IBM, suppose IBM works for Bank of America.
Mm-hmm.
So, our ultimate goal is to maintain the data, right? Business data of Bank
Correct.
of America, the
Mm-hmm.
project. Now, how are we handling? So, from morning to evening, the transactions that are going on in our project, at the end of the
Mm-hmm.
day, we'll receive all the data through mainframe files in our application. And those
Okay.
data will be processed through our COBOL DB2 programs and will be loaded in our tables, and also some report files will be generated, and those files will be sent to the client or some applications or some downstream applications. And
Mm-hmm.
this is called maintenance, right? Every day
Mm-hmm.
this process will run. And this process is automatic. No one will wake up in the midnight to restart the jobs or start the
Correct.
job. Every day, suppose if your application has 100 jobs, all the 100 jobs will run every day automatically.
Mm-hmm.
If any day anything fails, then you have to fix it. This is
Correct.
automatic run. Now, how are the jobs running automatically? That is
Mm-hmm.
because the jobs are registered in
Mm-hmm.
a tool called job scheduling tool.
Hmm.
So whenever you create any job, for example, the example that I gave here for a JCL, if it's a new
Mm-hmm.
JCL that you're creating, so when you create a JCL in dev and deliver it to UAT environment, for example,
Mm-hmm.
the code only you are delivering, the code of the JCL you are delivering, but you cannot expect that the JCL will start running from the next day automatically. It will not run
Mm-hmm.
because you have only delivered the code of the JCL. The
Mm-hmm.
code will be present in UAT, but since you have not scheduled it, it will not run automatically.
Correct. Correct. Mm-hmm.
So this is a major mistake the developers do, that
Mm-hmm.
whenever there is a JCL, new JCL, they
Mm-hmm.
deliver the code on the
Mm-hmm.
day of UAT or production delivery, but they forget to schedule it.
Okay.
If they don't schedule it, what happens is next day the job does not run and
Correct.
huge escalation comes. The job, we have not received file. Then we'll check that, oh, the job has not run only. Then we'll find out, oh, he has not scheduled only the job.
Correct. Correct.
That is why the scheduling has to be done at least 1 week before the day of delivery.
Okay.
Whether it is UAT or production, you have to schedule the job 1 week before delivery. Schedule as in you have to raise the request of scheduling. For example, your day of delivery is 1st of June, okay, production
Mm-hmm.
delivery. Now, so by suppose 25th of May only, you have to raise a ticket and you have
Mm-hmm.
to request the admin team of job scheduling team, the tool,
Mm-hmm.
to schedule the job on 1st of June. You have to tell that, okay, 1st of June is our production delivery date. Please keep the job ready from 1st of June so that from 2nd of June morning it runs automatically.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
and this request has to be raised 1 week before that because they don't entertain immediate requests. If you raise a request today and ask them to do it tomorrow, they will not do it.
Correct. Yeah.
So the tools that we use are basically Control M. This is the most used tool for job scheduling.
Mm-hmm.
Control M. Then we have a tool called CA7.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have AutoSys.
Mm-hmm.
AutoSys is used in Java projects also. Big data,
Mm-hmm.
Java.
Yes.
Control
Yes.
M, CA7. Control M is the most used job
Mm-hmm.
scheduling tool.
Mm-hmm.
Now, how will you schedule a JCL on what basis? So we have
Mm-hmm.
basically three types of triggers. Okay, one is file triggered job. One is called time triggered job.
Okay.
One is called dependent jobs. These three
Okay.
types of triggers we have. That means if a project is going to start after suppose 2 months and the meetings are going on, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now the requirement is such as whenever the client sends the file, immediately they should receive the response also, the
Mm-hmm.
report also.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That means when this send the file, immediately our JCL should get triggered. We should load the data in files and we should generate and report file and immediately send to them. Those
Correct.
jobs are called file triggered jobs. The
Mm-hmm.
jobs which start after the reception of any incoming file.
Okay.
Those are file triggered. Time triggered jobs as in if the client has said that we should receive the file every day at 6 a.m. 6 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
6 in the morning. So we have to schedule the jobs as at 6 a.m. every morning. Those are time triggered jobs.
Mm-hmm.
Those are not dependent on files. But you
Yeah.
can mix both of them. You can mix file and time also. That
Mm-hmm.
the file should also come and it should also run at 6 a.m. So what
Okay.
will happen is unless and until it is 6 a.m. or unless and until the file has come, the job will not start.
Yeah. Until the requirements get satisfied, the job won't
Yes,
get triggered.
yes. And
Okay.
finally, you have another one that is called dependent jobs. These dependent jobs you'll have mostly. So you have predecessor,
Okay.
then you have your JCL, then you have
Mm-hmm.
successor.
Okay.
So when the automatic jobs run in your application, they run one by one mostly, most of the jobs.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So if you have job A, job B, uh, job C, job D, like that in your application. So unless and until job A is successful, job B will
Mm-hmm.
not start.
Okay.
If job B is successful, then job C will start. So
Correct.
A is the predecessor of B and B is the successor of A,
Correct. Yeah.
right? So and these kind of triggers, we should not do based on our wish. Obviously, there is a proper job schedule, and
Mm-hmm.
we have to discuss with our seniors that what should be the job, when we should run, whether it is a dependent job, after which job our job should run, and based on that, we should always schedule the jobs. And we'll
Correct.
obviously understand it after a few months in the project.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So these are the jobs which will be there mostly in any project. So
Yeah.
dependent jobs. So if any day this A job is has failed, all the jobs will be in waiting status. Nothing will
Correct.
run unless and
Yeah.
until it is fixed. These jobs will not run. So
Yeah.
these are the three types of triggers. Now, when you schedule a job, so you have different options of scheduling. For example,
Mm-hmm.
if you are using Control M tool, you probably have to fill one document,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's a Microsoft document or it's an Excel sheet, you have to fill that. They have a specific format. The admin team only will give you that, fill this format and give it to us. We'll schedule the job based on that. If it's a
Okay.
CS7, probably in CS7 you have some options inside mainframe system only,
Mm-hmm.
mainframe server only. You have to go and you have to fill all the options and the job will be scheduled. For
Okay.
AutoSys also. Now different tools have different scenarios. For example, if you are using Control M, you will have this kind of, I have just simply, roughly, I have created a form, but you will have
Yeah.
mostly this kind of. So
Mm.
first of all, you will have environment option, whether it's for production environment or UAT environment. So
Okay.
if it is UAT, you can write either UAT or there will be one checkbox, you can tick on it. If you click,
Mm-hmm.
it will be ticked. Okay. Then on which day you want to implement it. That means from
Okay.
which day it should be active.
Okay.
So you can write 1st of June. So what is the job name that you were trying to schedule? Suppose ABC 00005.
Okay.
Job details, that is what is this job doing? In one line, you can write the description here.
Okay. Okay.
Then next comes frequency. What is the frequency of this job? Whether it should
Mm.
run every day or only on Mondays, Tuesdays, or weekly or monthly, bi-monthly, quarterly,
Mm.
yearly, you can. So if it is everyday job, daily job, you can write yes, yes after every day. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, till Sunday, you can write yes.
And if we have particular calendar also, we can select that as well,
Yes,
right?
month option will also be there. If it's a monthly, you can
Okay.
write yes, yes. If it's a weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, bi-monthly, quarterly, half yearly, yearly, whichever it is, you just have to write yes or you have to tick it based
Okay.
on the jail schedule.
Okay.
Then, if this job is using any proc, you can write the proc name also. What is
Mm-hmm.
the if this job is supposed to run after some job, then the predecessor you have to write.
Okay.
If which job should run after this job, the successor you have to write. If
Okay.
it's a time triggered, then you have to write the timing here.
Mm-hmm.
If it's file triggered, yes, and what after reception of which file this job should get triggered, you have to write that also.
Okay.
Then some parameters. Now, what are parameters? Some launch parameters we use. Probably mostly symbolic parameters. You remember symbolic parameters that we use some date parameter or time parameter
Yes.
to
Yeah.
use
Yeah.
current
Yeah.
date. Those
Mm-hmm.
parameters come actually from the job scheduling tool. So we
Okay.
have some specific values, system values. So these
Mm-hmm.
values will fetch the current date or current time from the system, and it will be
Okay.
associated in the added in the JCL. So these parameters also you have to write. So this form after filling up, so as I said, we have a ticketing tool also.
Mm-hmm.
The ticketing tool as in suppose service now you have heard, right? Service now or some other tools we have. There we have to go and we have to raise a ticket there. That ticket will be assigned to control and admin team. And this
Okay.
form you need to attach there, this Excel sheet.
Okay.
And you have to write in details, brief that this is the job that we want you to schedule, and please keep it ready from 1st of June because we have production delivery from on 1st of
Okay.
June. and they will do it as it is. And you will see that on 1st of June, now what we will do is you will deliver all the codes, all the
Mhm.
programs, JCLs, everything you will deliver. And on 1st of June also, the job will be active. So
Oh,
2nd of June morning onwards, the JCL will automatically run. And since the JCL code is present, it will pick up the code and it will execute the programs also. Everything will be automatically run.
okay.
Everything will
Okay.
automatically, right? Similarly, if you have a DB2 object change, meaning you have a new table creation as per this requirement, you created a
Mm-hmm.
new table or you change some columns in a table.
Okay.
So that change you did in dev environment, you moved it to testing environment, and on 1st of June, you will move it to UAT environment also, right? But
Yes.
you that thing to move it to UAT environment, you cannot do it yourself. You can do
Mm-hmm.
until some position, you can do the shipment of the package to UAT environment, that DB2 object, okay.
Mm-hmm.
But it will not be implemented. That thing will be implemented whenever you raise a ticket. So that
Okay.
same thing, for the same thing also, you have to raise one ticket. That ticket will be assigned to DB2 team, DBA team, database admin team. And
Oh,
there is a specific form. You have to fill that form. You have to write all the details that this is the table. Here I have added this column, and these are the views, and make it ready on 1st of June. So 1st of June, all the modules you will deliver, and
mm-hmm.
these tickets that you raised for the JCL scheduling and also the DB2 change, you scheduled it 1 week before the delivery. And
Okay.
on 1st of June, everything will be active. From 2nd of June, everything will work fine.
Automatically.
Otherwise, uh,
Okay.
if you
Mm-hmm.
don't raise the request to schedule the, I mean, create the columns of the DB2, what will happen is
Mm-hmm.
2nd of morning, the job will get triggered. Job will execute, try to execute the programs, but since the table is not available, your JCL
Mm-hmm.
will fail. It
Correct.
will again be a
Yeah,
huge
got
issue.
it.
We have to do all the rollbacks and everything. It will be a big escalation. So while delivering something, we have to take care of a lot of things.
Correct.
So that is why we maintain a proper component list. In the
Mm-hmm.
component list, in there we have like what are the modules we're delivering, whether it's a job scheduling, whether it requires a new job or not, whether
Okay.
there is a DB2 change or not. Okay. This
Mm-hmm.
so sometimes you have some DB2 updates inserts also.
Okay.
For example, you have some reference table to refer some data. You have a reference table. There you need to insert new data
Mm-hmm.
as per the client. Okay. So they have given some new inserts that you have to insert in DB2 table that you forgot to insert. What will happen is next day the jobs will run fine, nothing will happen. But since that data is not there in table, either the program will fail or it will not give the proper report. In the report, these messages which are supposed
Okay.
to come from the table will not come.
So the data will be missed if we miss
Yes,
this.
exactly.
Okay.
So in this component list, we should write everything so that we don't miss anything. These kind of issues
Mm-hmm.
are very common in every project. So component list should be properly managed so that we don't miss any kind of scheduling or DB2 table creation or update insert or don't
Yeah.
miss any component to deliver also.
Correct. Okay.
So this is all about version control tool, job scheduling tool.
Okay.